Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. I hope you had a great weekend and that you have enough energy for a new week. We will begin in just a couple of minutes, so sit back, relax. I'll be right back. Okay, let's get going. Let's get rid of this. How's everyone doing? Thank you so much for joining me. Happy Monday. Is it gonna be one of those days? Hope not. Okay, OBS, please behave. Please behave, okay? Oh my god. I hate it when the bit rate it's like green, 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 and then goes down to yellow, and I'm like, is it gonna be? And then goes back to green. So I don't know. I'm just gonna keep an eye on it. So if it freezes during during the live stream, you know why it is. So I think today is the last video for the Inertia and React project. Ooh, itchy. The reason being I kind of want to start a new project on Wednesday. And what I'm going to try and do today is I got a tutorial. And it's the only time I'm going to use a tutorial during this entire series. I've managed to not get stuck or not get too stuck by just using documentation and maybe a few examples here and there. But this tags input has gotten me like really stuck. It's the last thing I'm going to do. I'm going to try and follow this tutorial that I found. It's the only one that I've seen that is using Tailwind CSS. I think there is a little bit of Shad CN in there. We'll follow along. It's not exactly the kind of thing that I'm doing. Tutorial is doing something slightly different than what I need. But I figure we can try and follow along and try to adapt the concepts that I need and just discard what I don't need. And that's generally speaking how I use tutorials. So yeah, we're gonna try and do that today. If it works, then that'll be the last thing we do. And if it doesn't work, then that'll be the last thing we do. Because work or not, we are moving on today. So yeah, let me see if I can find that. I think I have it. I think I had it saved, maybe not. I don't think I did. This one here. So I gave it a look, like at first glance, without following along, just to understand what he's trying to do and what can I use and what I cannot, so that we can speed things along. But now we are actually going to watch it and follow along. Let me see if the audio here. I'm gonna turn down the audio for you guys a bit, so that you don't go deaf. And then we're gonna start from the beginning.
So once you've got the repo cloned and open in VS Code, go.
If you want to follow along on this tutorial and you find it interesting and you want to go and check it out, I'm actually going to I'm going to paste the link to it here in chat. One sec. So maybe this will be useful for you guys as well. You're not going to paste it? Come on. Wow. Okay. So that's for YouTube, and this is for Twitch. I'm actually going to pin this at the top so that you guys can see it at all times. And also on YouTube, pin. There you go. All right. Okay, so apparently he's got like a starter template. I'm hoping. So tags, what you'll do, create an input field that requires an npm registry. So that's different from what we're doing. We are not querying anything. We're going to have actually the whole list of tags already passed into the component by the controller. So we don't really have to do any fetching of any data. I'm going to look into fetching stuff though, because I do have this idea that maybe Inertia has some kind of helper that will allow us to fetch data from the server, which is something very common that we do on at least Vue.js. So maybe Inertia has something for that. Maybe we don't have to pass the entire list. We can actually do some fetching. Display the results in a dropdown, and then display added npm packages as tags. I am Cassie. Hello, how you do? And thank you so much for joining me. First time chatter. I hope you had a great weekend and that you're having a fantastic day today. Okay, so they are using React with Vite, which is what we're using. They're not using Laravel and they're not using Inertia, so that's different from us, and we'll have to adapt to that. Because of the initial implementation, where I am just going to pass the complete list of tags and filter them on the client, I don't think I'm going to use this debounce. He builds a debounce function from scratch. I don't think we're not gonna use that, at least for now. KSL. Oh, sorry, I am Castle, not Cassie. Yeah, it's the sorry, that was my bad. I'm starting to learn Laravel. Do you have a Discord? Yes. Just I think if you do on exclamation point Discord on chat, you can have a link. And if it doesn't work, let me know. And I'm glad you're starting to learn Laravel. There you go. Let me know if that link works. Sometimes they get out of date. All right, let's see.
ShadCN setup process, but there's documentation on that, and I have prior videos where I've done that exact thing.
So
yeah, so let's go ahead and get into it. Oh, and I should say,
This part.
the starter code is in this repo. Go ahead and clone it, because I debated whether or not I wanted to walk through the entire ShadCN setup process, but there's documentation on that, and I have prior videos where I've done that exact thing. So
That kind of worries me because I don't have any ShadCN settings in my project. So maybe we should do that first. See if there is anything particular that we have to do with the Laravel project. What's my topic right now? My topic is I am kind of at the tail end. So I decided I wanted to learn a bit more about React, specifically with Laravel's Inertia, which is like this protocol that helps you merge the server side and the client side. So you can have Laravel running on the backend with your typical code with controllers, routes, etc. And you can merge that with any client-side library like Vue.js or React. I know how to use Vue.js, so I decided I wanted to give myself a challenge and try and learn React. And that's what I've been doing with this small project that I use as a learning experience, where I basically just recreated like a job board post kind of thing, kind of like Lara jobs. It basically is just a list of records in a form that I use to create, update, and delete stuff. And everything it's pretty much in place. I've been doing that for the last 10 weeks, maybe. By the way, I didn't change the thumbnail for today. Harold the Free, hello. What do you think about it? Um, 1 second. It's getting toasty in here. And I need this fan running a bit higher. So yeah, to finish answering your question, Castle, is basically me just learning how to code with React using Laravel's Inertia. And right now, I just want to finish off by creating this tags input where every post is supposed to have like different tags, and that's been the bane of my existence so far because everything else is easy, but this particular topic there is really no tags input that I have liked in React. So it's been a thing. What do I think about it? React is very popular. React is a very nice client framework. If I had to choose, I would probably not choose React because the because how comfortable I am with using Vue.js and how many of the things that Vue.js does kind of aligns with the other thing that I like, which is Livewire and Alpine.js. React does things a bit differently from those. Sometimes to do something that would take me 5 minutes in Livewire or a little bit more in Vue.js, it takes a lot more, and it has like a different approach to things, and that has made me it has made it difficult for me to wrap my head around it a little bit more. It's just me being a noob. I understand that. So final thoughts, 10 out of 10, probably won't use it. I use Laravel with Vue.js for a big project and a marketplace, and it's pure pleasure. Yeah. I also used for one of the big projects at my job. I decided to go with Laravel and Vue.js mainly because I didn't know about Inertia. I would probably had used Inertia if I knew a bit more about it. But yeah, I'm also very comfortable with Vue.js. So yeah, React, great framework, probably won't use it. What's my stack? It's What's built? I'm guessing built is Vue.js, Inertia, Laravel, and Tailwind. Well, my preferred stack is Livewire. So Livewire, Alpine.js, Laravel, and Tailwind CSS. That's what I would use if I had the freedom of choosing. But it always depends on the project, to be honest. For a moment, I use Little React, but I really don't like the JSX. Yeah, that's my pain point too. JSX is it's a thing. I'm a full stack Laravel. Yes, I do full stack Laravel development right now at my job. So I'm not a designer by any means. So all of my UIs are kind of basic, but I do use Laravel full time. I've been a developer for 20 years using PHP. 10 of those years I've been using Laravel. So I started when I was back when I was 21, and I had a period of not coding for 7 years because of the job I was doing, and then I went back into PHP and Laravel. But yeah, I've been around. Yeah, those props in JSX. It's all about getting comfortable with it. And if you have been using React for a while and that's what you like, you probably won't agree with. You probably think, no, yeah, it's easy. It's super. Uh, I'm comfortable with it, and it's not a big problem. Well, yeah. Like I said, it always depends on how comfortable are you with something and whether or not you can be productive with that tool. So language is not you just use different languages. Best stack for me, Laravel, Vue, Tailwind, and Inertia. That's a good stack. But I think you have better understand of Livewire that I have, and it's best thing for developers. I really do like Inertia, mainly because I am not great with JavaScript. I It's not something that I use every day. So the less JavaScript I can write, the better. You starting to learn PHP? Capstone project. I don't know what BSIT is. It's like yeah, I don't know what BSIT, but what I'm getting is that you're graduating, you have a capstone project, which is probably the last project for your graduation. Is that what I'm getting? And then you start learning PHP. Awesome. Yeah, usually you use what you like. If you can choose, you use what you like. And most likely than not, you are going to find or look for a job on the things that you like. You may learn new things on the job, but it's generally you go with what you know. Bachelor Science of Information and Technology. Okay, fancy. Congratulations on graduating. Graduating. I can talk. I promise. Graduation. Congratulations on that. Let's go and see if I need to do something with ChatCN for this project. Do. Kind of have this memory of me trying to use ChatCN at the beginning and it didn't work. I hope that's not the case right now. Let's make this bigger. It was bigger. My docs. Installation. Laravel. My capstone project is a restaurant management system with predictive analytics. Now I'm transferring my vanilla into Laravel. Oh, nice. you're gonna find it that vanilla versus Laravel, there's a lot of boilerplate that you just don't have to do anymore. That's the beauty. Yeah, don't get too excited about ChatCN. Like I said, I think I have a memory of me trying this before and not working, mainly because of the styles. Hopefully, it's not gonna be that way right now. Liveware is awesome too, but when I go deeper in my project with it, I become lost with these batch events. Yeah, it's a tricky concept. Yes. What's that? Dispatch events and some things like this that totally broke my app. I remake it from scratch with Inertia. Huh? Well, if it works better with Inertia, then probably is you probably were using the wrong tool. So yeah, CSS variables. Is that what didn't work the first time? Probably. Start by creating a new Laravel project. Already did that. Run the shatcn init command to set up your project. Oh, yeah, this I don't remember. npx shatcn latest. Configure components.json. You will be asked a few questions to configure components.json. Which type would you like to use? Which color would you like to use as a base color? Do you want to use CSS variables for colors? Yes. That's it. That's it. Okay, and start doing that. Because after that, then you start adding components like buttons, and actually we're going to use buttons and cards. Ooh. I don't know. I've never used Golang, honestly. So I don't really have an opinion on it. You managed to download it pretty easily. Make sure to pick CSS variables. Yeah, it kind of says yes right there. I think 4 or 5 years inertia. 4 or 5 years Livewire will become the norm in PHP Laravel world, but for now, some concepts are too difficult for me. Okay, that's fair. If you were to start learning Laravel again, oh, that'll be great. What would be the best way to begin? Well, I will preface this with it's always different for some people. I am a visual learner, which means that if I have to learn, a written tutorial would not be good for me. I would get bored really fast and probably won't learn a thing. So I'm a visual learner, therefore I need examples. So my way of learning is by example. So the way that I do it, and this does not apply only to Laravel, it applies to pretty much everything new that I learn. Um, the way that I do it is I start with the documentation. So whatever you're going to learn, in this case, Laravel has an excellent documentation. You start with that. You start with the documentation and you give yourself a small project, something that you can practice on, something that you can get stuck on. So you start with that, and it's gonna suck. It's going to be painful. You're gonna feel stupid the whole time. And once you get to a point where you don't, where you're absolutely stuck, then you find a tutorial, and you try and follow along with the tutorial. That will get you moving again. So once that happens, I just throw the tutorial away and then keep going. And then I feel stupid again. I feel stuck again. And when I get stuck, then I go back and find another tutorial and then get unstuck and then keep going. So that's the whole process. Documentation, example project. Get stuck, find a tutorial. Get unstuck, leave the tutorial, keep going. and then repeat. I don't like reading documents. Yeah, I feel that way too, except for documentation. In the way that I don't read the entire documentation, just to be clear. I mostly look at the code snippets. So I glance the documentation, uh, and then I look at the examples. And if I find or see an example or code snippet that kind of looks like what I need, then I'll read that section above and below that code snippet just to understand what that code snippet does. If the documentation is not clear enough, then I take that code snippet and tell ChatGPT to explain that code to me as if I was a toddler. And that has helped me a lot lately too. And don't sleep on ChatGPT explaining code to you, no matter the code. It's very good at explaining. Don't take the code as is and don't ask it to write the code for you. Just take a piece of code that you don't understand what it does and ask it to explain it to you in whatever method it's best for you to understand. And that's really helpful too. Project based learning, that's correct. Just looking for examples. Yeah, I usually look for code examples, um, Stack Overflow, but not too much. Honestly, I was into the habit of copy pasta from Stack Overflow, and that really didn't help a lot at all. Can you make a video on Stripe Connect? I'm thinking of making a video on Paddle actually. I think we cover Stripe. I don't know what Stripe Connect is. Laravel docs are, yeah, Laravel documentation is prime. It's premium documentation. And I think most of other websites are actually like adapting the structure of Laravel documentation. I don't know if it was the other way around or not, but I feel like every other documentation website is kind of feels like Laravel nowadays, which is great. Sia Films, I'm great. How you doing? I'm doing great. I won't ask again because I know that you're doing great. Thank you so much for being here. Oh, Laracast. Laracast are really, really good also. But then again, don't use a tutorial as a, how can I say this? Don't follow along a tutorial like a robot, because if you just follow instructions, you're not going to learn. Laracast tutorials are great, but use them sparingly and only when you can't move forward. Also, one thing, if I don't have an example project, I will just take the example project from the tutorial, like watch the tutorial, like glance it only once without following along, then grab that example project and try to do it myself with just the memory of what I just watched, but not just following line by line what the person is doing, because that's not learning. That's just following instructions. It's not great. All right, let's do this. NPX, ShatCN, latest in it. You know what? Should make a new branch. Oh, that's nice of you. I'm grateful that you're here and that you found what you were looking for. I'm always here, by the way. Well, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And on Wednesday, if everything goes well, I'm going to start a new project where I am going to use Twitch API to create some sort of text to speech dashboard for myself. And yeah, I'm going to start doodling that on Wednesday if you're interested. uh no, not really. I I have fallen behind on Discord and I'm really not much in Discord nowadays. I do have to fix that though, because I do have a few posts in there, a few questions that I haven't answered, and I'm painfully aware of that. I think the best way, yeah, I'm not gonna say that I'm always on Discord, like maybe on weekends. I'm gonna try and be more active there, actually. I think the Discord server has grown a lot, and I have to pay more pay more attention to it. There you go. npx chatcn latest init. Need to install the following packages. Okay, to proceed. Yeah, go ahead. Twitch only? No, I am actually multi-streaming right now. I am live on Twitch and on YouTube, same days. So if you didn't watch the live stream, you can always go back and watch the replay on YouTube. There you go. Okay, so very fine. Which style would you like to use? Default, I guess. All right. Have a good night. Thank you so much for being here. Take care. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Castle. Oh, and don't forget to follow me here too if you're not doing so, so that every time I go live on Twitch, you can watch the live stream. If you want. It's okay if you don't.
_castle just followed. You're amazing.
Your code cleanup is doing well. Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad it's going well. Code cleanup. Which base color? Gray, zinc, stones, or slate? I'm gonna go with gray. You fixed a duplicate in your code today? Oh, nice. So it wasn't causing any problems. It was just code duplication. Is that what I'm hearing? It's always nice when you get to a point where you look at the code and you just sit back and relax and say, yeah, that's good code. I love that feeling. Would you like to use yes? Yes to CSS variables. Thank you very much. Updating. Oh, did you do something to my tailwind? Should have made a branch. I forgot to do that. Hold on. Let me see what happened. Okay. Awesome. At least your code is now lean and clean, which is always good. Tailwind, 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 tailwind. Here. Okay, this one, oh, looks like it made a duplicate here. I already had this class. Looks like it added another one, so let's remove that. What are your VS Code extension, I'm guessing. Um, I don't have many. Oh, you know what? You just reminded me of something. Did you know what's out today? The VS Code extension for Laravel. I totally forgot about that. We're going to install that right now. It's in beta, but I want to use it. What is this? Plugins, extend, font family. This is. Oh, wow. Oh, nice. Accent, a bunch of. Okay, got it. Hmm, interesting. All right. Laravel new extension, Laravel beta official. Yeah, I know, I know. I saw the official. I saw the tweet about it coming out on Monday, and I totally spaced out about it today. We're going to look for that, and we are going to install it. Plugins form require. Okay, I think that's fine. I think that's good. Wait, victory. All right, cool. That's it. Okay, we have ChatCN installed. So let's take a moment. And before we continue, I'm actually going to save all of the changes for this. How do we call this? Edit form plus icons, I guess. Not icons, logos. A bunch more, but whatever. Save that. Commit. And branch out of this. We branch out or just merge? No, let's just merge real quick. Publish branch. This is going to be tags input. All right. Here we go. Here we go. So let's look for Laravel. If I remember correctly, it's not really the first one on the list, but it's one that says beta. And there it is. This is the one. Install. And that's it. So basically, as I understand, this is mostly auto completion and links for bindings, but it has auto completions on app bindings, on assets, on configuration variables. There is also eloquent autocompletion method, field autocompletion. That's nice. Environment variables, inertia, routes, middleware, translation, validation. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Just mostly autocompletion and linking. Right now, like it says here, it's in beta, so it's limited on functionality. It doesn't do a whole lot, but what it does well. So mainly auto completion, links, and warnings. Also, hoverable. Like you hover over something and you get like a tooltip, I guess. Can you imagine? I would never. Do you know how expensive it is to have a car like that? No way. Taxes alone. Ugh. Best to have like a decent car, but modest. Modest. It's getting toasty again. Plus, here in Costa Rica, the streets are not made for that kind of car. It will be destroyed immediately. All right, so that's it. That's it's installed. That was anticlimactic. Anticlimactic. That's the word. Yeah. I guess I would see the benefits as I start using it. But let's keep going. Let's follow the tutorial. Now that the ChatCN thing is installed and supposedly ready, let's go back to the tutorial and follow along. Let's see.
If you're interested in seeing that, go see my last reading list video. I actually go through just
Blah, blah, blah.
starting
Yeah.
So once you've got the repo cloned and open in VS Code,
Mm-hmm.
go ahead and hit Control tilde. We'll install the packages, not yarn.
Not need that. Oh, I need a Vite server actually. I do need a Vite server. Hold on. npm run dev. Good. Let's actually open that. See how it's looking so far. No changes, but I just want to make sure it's not broken anyway. Job board test posts. Here we okay. I always forget to change the PHP version. Most of the code at work, it's on PHP 8.1. All right, here we go.
Started, and we're gonna head into the source app.tsx file. And
I don't need to do that.
Everything in this file so that I'm not jumping around as much. But feel free to split up the directory.
This is already done for me.
Open for a second because we're gonna need.
We already have layouts
from ChatCN. So the first thing we're gonna want to do is create the npm search component. So this.
No. Well,
the npm search component, which is essentially the whole thing, but that's going to contain like the input, the tags display, and the search functionality and all that. And like I said, you can split it up however you see fit. This is just like because I'm using everything in one component.
Yeah, I'm going to do that differently. Instead, I'm actually going to split it up because for the input itself, I'm going to use the default input component that comes with Breeze, so the text input. And then above it, I think he's going to use like a card or a section, and then below it is like a drop down. So I'm going to just keep all of those separate. Yeah, I know. Like I said, he's not using Laravel for this tutorial. He's explaining how to create the input with React, but it's like a TSX project. So it is kind of different. I just want to see him create. I already saw the tutorial a bit, and most of the concepts work within Laravel. I just have to adapt those in a way that work for me.
I figured that's how I would set it up myself. So we need to add the input component from ShadCN.
Not gonna do
I
that.
can actually just do this with a normal HTML input, but why waste your time? So open up a split terminal. Second.
Speed run through this.
There we go. So I'm gonna add the button component, and I think the only other one that I'm adding is the card. So
Now those I need, actually. I'm not sure about the button, but I am going to add the button and the card because those I think I will use. So apparently it's just npx and latest add button. That's pretty much what the documentation states as well. Yeah. So I'm going to add a button component to my project. No, I appreciate that, but I mean, if you give me one, I will take it. I think the other one is card. Let me see.
oh, this will just take a second.
Right here.
All right. And the last one is, oh, hello. The last one is the card component.
Okay, do that. All right, here we go.
So, just need it anymore. And I'm going to hide it using Control tilde again. This is going to be mainly where all of our logic goes. So, in npm search, go ahead and return just the JSX template. So we'll say return open parentheses, and this is just going to contain a div with a input.
Like I said, Lambo is not a good financial decision.
Let's go ahead and close this input, and inside of here, let's just pass in a few things like I don't know, type equals text.
So yeah, right now he's just building the input. I already have that, so let's speed run through this too.
Base folder, and then close it. There we go. So now we have our nifty little ShadCN input component.
Yeah, I don't need that. Actually, I'm just going to add the input component to my form so that we can get that going. Let's see. It's in the post form. Here we go. Post form. Where do we put it? I have to log in. Test. Actually, ask me. Go at sample.com. Password. I guess I'm going to put it right after salary, but before the company logo. Salary. So here. I'm just going to copy this whole div here. Yoink. Paste. Change salary for tax. Now this one, is not going to be bound to data salary. It's going to be something different. For now, let's just take the value off. I don't need a hint. Don't need an on change just yet. It's not going to be required. So there it is. Very simple input field. So that's basically what he's doing up here, is just creating that input component in the same file. In my case, that is already created for me by the Breeze starter kit inside JS components, text input right here. Oh, nice. Well, I wish you the best of luck, and I hope you achieve what you're looking for. Best luck to you.
And let's start adding some functionality to this. So what we want to do right now is just kind of like see the fetch request in action. So in order to do that, I'm going to have it so that the input component.
Thank you, man. Thank you,
Shansfield. Query
Shanfilms.
state variable, and we're just going to log that state variable whenever we get results. So let's say const.
So this is something. This is also something that I'm not doing. He is fetching data from an API, from npm, based on a query. Let me see if I can just use the query, but let's use the query on the form and not inside the component.
Set query equals use state, go to and query state variable as an empty string. And then underneath here, we will declare a new function called fetch npm packages, which will take in a search query. Which will be of type fetch request. So
okay. I think what I'm going to take from this is, one, I am going to use a query to filter the list of tags, but that list of tags, it's already coming down from the controller, and it's going to be an array of, I'm thinking about that. It's going to be an array of objects, most likely. Because of, I'm going to need the tag ID. I think I have a tag stable. So I'm going to have the tag ID and the tag label passed down to my component. And what I'm going to do, instead of doing a fetch method, I'm just going to do a filter method. But basically the same concept, passing a search query. And then if there is a search query, I'm just going to filter down the array to only have the tags that match that query. So let's start doodling down that real quick. So in my post form, this is where it's going to happen. I'm going to create a const here. And it's going to be a query. So it's something like this. Wait, why is he using square brackets? Is that how use state works? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Set query was use state. And I'm going to need the initial the initial value will be, yeah, an empty string. Don't like double quotes. And then let's create this method here. Let's put it right here. So it's going to be const filter tags maybe. And it's going to take in a search query as a string. Doesn't like the string type like that, so I'm going to remove it. Hey, Bordo, how you doing, man? Personal preference time. I seem to do that a lot, don't I? It's all right. Don't like the naming of the variable that holds what I'm searching for as query, when you know search is like literally right there and describes what you describe it, what it is much better. Search term. Yeah, you're right. I kind of like it as search. So no bonus points for me. I think search query is fine, actually. So here I'm going to say if search query, then I'll do the filtering, but not yet. Let's keep going.
Fetch. And what we're going to fetch to, I'm going to open up backticks because we need to pass in the...
Yeah, I don't need to do any of that. Let's get to the part where you get the
JSON data.
data.
And it's going to look ridiculous. Query. So we'll make it so that the actual content of the input box is the query. So if I actually try, we need to add a change handler here. So we'll say on change, and we're going to pass it to a use effect. So we'll say
use effect.
Now I know use effect is not the best way to do this, but like,
okay.
You know, we're just this is just for. Wait, what?
Okay, so what we could do in this case instead is on change we can set the value of the search yeah, we can set the search value to whatever the input value is. Yeah. And in fact, we can bind that text input to the search value. So value is going to be search, right? And on change, we are going to, what was it? Oh yeah, so function, pass the event, and then we just do set search, so. And we pass e.target dot value, is it? Yes. So if what we can do here to make sure that it's actually working, let's just do a simple console log of search query. No, actually. Can I call two different? Okay, so hold on. Hold on. What I can do on change is not set the value, it's just call filter tags instead. Howdy, how you doing? Um, I don't know if that's an I or an L. But howdy, how you doing? Is it Lygia or Ilija? Angelov? I don't know. Sorry about that. So yeah, instead of set search here, it's I then L then I. So Elijah. And that's the J, right? It's J or not Elijah. Am I saying it right? Elijah. Elijah. All right. I'm doing it. The project is about a simple learning project for me to learn React and Inertia. The project is just like a post job post board with a list and a form like this. So you can create, edit, and delete records. Very simple, nothing fancy, just for learning. A bit off, but that's okay. That's fine. And right now, I am trying to create a tags input for the form because the posts are supposed to have tags in them. And I'm trying to create a tags input, which has been a pain this whole time. If I had to choose, I would go for Vue.js. But again, that always depends on the project that you are either learning or starting to work on. But preference of choice, Vue.js. Even more preference of choice, Livewire, and no JavaScript at all, just Alpine.js. So Livewire, Vue.js, probably React. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to bind the text input to search. I'm going to call filter tags with the input value, but insert in the search in the filter tags. I should probably just do set search to the search query. And just compare that if search, like so. So I'm always setting the value so that the input reflects that value. But if that value is empty, then I do the output of that value here. Let's see if that works. I do know of the country, yes. Thanks for the suggestion. Okay, sure. I would, yeah, my suggestion is probably going to be Livewire. If you're starting with Laravel and then trying to go somewhere else, Depends if you like JavaScript and you enjoy writing JavaScript code. If you don't, Livewire. And after you go for Livewire in Alpine.js, you can go one step above and go for Filament for your control panels. All right, let's see if it actually is working. So post a job, tags. Let's open the console here. Ugh. Something's wrong. Maybe not. Tags. 1. Okay. Kind of works. 2. It's behind one type. So all right. Have a good night. Thank you for being here. The time here is 8:37 p.m. So yeah, it's I'm a bit behind you. But thank you for staying up and yeah, have some rest. So what if instead of logging search, I actually log this search query here? What is the difference? Tags 1. All right, that's better. 2. Yeah, I'm going to use that. What should I learn next if I know vanilla, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, PHP, SQL, MySQL? Well, you know everything already. And Python. I don't know Python, actually. I'm not one of the cool kids. What should you learn next if you already know all of that? Well, if you know PHP and you are more inclined to the web side of things, which I think you are, I think Laravel is a good choice. If you already know PHP, vanilla, just give Laravel a try. Everything else applies to it. What is a DDE? Data Dude Expert. Well, good for you. Yeah, give Laravel a try. That's what I would recommend. Obviously, I'm biased, so. All right, so we have this. Let's keep following along the tutorial. See what else we have. That use effect, not gonna use that.
Oh, wrong one. I meant to use the snippet. There we go. No, not layout effect. Use effect. Snippet. There we go.
Yeah, you can also try Tailwind CSS as an exchange for vanilla CSS, unless you are not comfortable of having long lists of classes in your HTML. In that case, you can stay. It's not necessarily a requirement for you to use Tailwind CSS. I enjoy it. I like it. It saves some writing in terms of CSS classes, but it does create those long list of classes in your HTML. So Alpine.js is really good for minimal HTML, for minimal JavaScript uses.
PM.
Let's scroll past this real
Instead of
quick.
the state, instead of the text being stored in the input box immediately, what it's going to do is it's going to store the text in the state variable. And whenever the state variable has updated, then we're going to do the fetch request. So if I come in here, I am
Oh, okay. No, that's not what I want. I guess it's doing that, the use effect. By the way, I don't think I understand the use effect very good. I don't really understand it very much. I think after I finish my code cleanup, then I will work on some more SEO improvements for the Sean Films website. Oh, cool. SEO improvement. That's a very good skill. But yeah, I think he wants to do it this way because of the debouncing that he's going to do later. So that's not something that applies to me. Alpine not too suitable for Lash components, but with the extraction can still be used for that. Yeah, don't forget that the entire Flux library is basically just Alpine JS, Tailwind CSS, and Livewire. So it is suitable for large components. Of course, they are using web components as well to extract the JavaScript functionality out of the component, but use state is used a lot in React. Yeah, I don't think I understand it. So the way that I'm understanding it here is that the second parameter is what triggers the call of use effect, because he is calling the fetch packet, the fetch npm package method every time query changes, and the only other place I see query being used in use effect is in the second parameter array. So I'm guessing the second parameter is the variables that trigger use effect to be called, and inside it he's actually fetching or performing the fetch call to the npm registry. I'm going to see if that's correct. Yep, setup dependencies. Dependencies, the list of all reactive values referenced inside of the setup code. Reactive values include props, states, and all the variables and functions declared directly inside your component body. If your linter is configured, blah 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 blah, it will verify that every reactive value is correctly specified as a dependency. The list of dependencies must have a constant number of items and be written in line. React will compare each dependency with its previous value. If you omit this argument, your effect will rerun after every re-render of the component. Oh, okay. I think I understand. But like I said, it doesn't really apply to me. All I need to do really is to, well, I guess in terms of best practices, right? I should use I'm gonna use use effect actually, so that it keeps in line with every other component here. So let's do that. So I'm gonna go back to set search here to set the value. And then I'm going all the way back to filter. So I don't need this. Now I can actually use effect. It's supposed to be at the top level, right? Let me check. Yeah, so let's put it here. So let's see. Just takes a callback function like so. That callback function takes in nothing. And then in here, I'm going to call filter tags with what? With search. And then second parameter will be search. Ooh. Let's try that again. So the input is bound to the search value. Every time I change that input, the search value is updated. And because of that, it calls the use effect method, which in turn calls the filter tags method with that value. And since we are console logging, should still work. Yep. Awesome. Awesome. Sorry. All right. That's done. Keep going.
Control Shift I. Well, every letter that I typed, it did a fetch request, right?
Mm-hmm.
What we want to do is we want to actually console log data.objects, as you can see over here, because this actually contains.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. So you'll see I get the actual results here. So yeah, so just actual like objects and packages right now.
What I could do now before moving on is I already have a way of passing down the tags from the controller. So I could figure out a way of taking that array of objects and filter it down based on the query. Let's try and do that before I follow the rest of the tutorial. So this is what I do. I follow the tutorial up until the point where I'm thinking, okay, this is what I can do on my own, and I put the tutorial aside, try to do things on my own, and when I get stuck, and then I go back to the tutorial, like I explained in before. It's how I process new information. So let's go to, do I have that in here already? I have employment types, but I don't have anything on tags. Do I have values on my tags table? Job list, job board. I'm gonna use Tinkerwell for this. Love Tinkerwell for tinkering. So tag all. I don't have any tags. Okay, so let's create a few. Let's create a few tags. I think I can use tag factory. Count 10. Create. Will that work? Move this down here. Nope. How did I do it? Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Is it? Probably right. Hold on. I'm just gonna check this real quick. Databases. There's database either. Yeah. I'm a dumbass. There. We have some tags with some very unique names. Quariet repudiandi. Kia debitis assumenda molestias animi soluta reprehenderit dolorum. All right, so we have 10. Now what I can do is go back to my controller, my posts controller. Binary downloaded for Laravel extension. Huh. Interesting. All right. Why are you summoning a demon? That's not me. That's just the random words. Blame fake for that. Post controller. Oh, come on. Don't do that to me. Posts controller. That'll be on. Let's start with create right here. Tags equals tag all. And then we pass that down to the component as a prop. Like so. Let's go to the component now and see what do we have. Post form. For now, let's just... Oh, I do need to modify this because now we need the next prop, which is tags. That's a new prop. Let's just log it, see what we have. Oh, yeah. I guess so. Dolorum seem familiar. Let's see what we have here. So let's just write one letter undefined. That's a problem. Ooh. What? Undefined? Why? Okay, I know why. So this tax is this tax prop is being passed into the post create component, which inside of it I am actually using the nested post form component. So I have to drill down that prop into the post form. So let's open create. Let's add the new prop tags. And on the post form, let's pass that tags prop. Why are you yelling at me? What's going on? Oh, what? Ah, it's an array. Okay. All right. Reload. Nope. Oh, you. Okay. Okay. I see it. I see it. Come on. There. Thank you, Eduardo. Eduardo. All right. Now we're getting something. We have an array of 10 objects with an ID and a name and some other stuff. I'm mostly going to use ID and name. So, how do I filter this down? You couldn't sleep? That sucks, man. I've been there. Unfortunately, what you should do is not be on your phone before sleeping. I've heard that helps. But I'm not gonna be I'm not gonna sit here and say that I don't do the same thing. All right, let's see. So, what if can I do something like tags? Wait. Feeling lazy to code? You don't have to. You don't if you don't want to. Wait. So, hold on. If this is being passed down to me as a prop, can I filter down a prop? I know that's a no-no in Vue.js, but Or do I have to assign this to a reactive variable first? What I'm trying to do is, so I am from the controller, I'm getting a list of tags as an array of objects like this. What I want to do is take that list that is being passed down into my post form as a prop and filter that down based on the search query, comparing that search query to the tag name. So the tag name. And only keep an array of the objects that match that name. But what I don't know is you can filter them down. Okay, cool. I'm gonna try that. There are sometimes I feel really not to code, but I need to. Well, what I do when I don't have the will to code and I know I have to is I take a break. I do something else first. When I can't code and I know I have to code, the best thing you can do is just step away from the code or your machine or whatever it is that you are stuck on, and then do something else. Go, I don't know, wash the dishes or walk the dog or just walk around the house. Do something else that takes your mind out of what you're trying to do, and do that for 15, 20 minutes, something like that. That works for me. And or take a nap. That also works for me. I usually find it that a 30-minute nap usually recharges my batteries, clears my mind, and then I can sit down and try and do the what I need to do. But yeah, take a break, take a breather. Can I do something like tags equals tags dot filter? Is there a filter method? I need to make a browser extension that combines whatever chats from whoever I tell it to, like your YouTube and Twitch chats, without making a streamer do that for me. Sounds interesting. Array filter. Okay, let me find that out. So many extra windows. Okay. Let's see. So filter, that'll be a callback function. Takes in the current tag. And I am only gonna keep that tag if, wait, hold on. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna keep that tag only if, well, hold on. I should not modify the original. If I do that, then I can't go back to it when there is no query. Where do you have to take the time to stream? I'm not gonna lie, here's the key. I really enjoy doing this. So for me, it's not really like a job or a task or something I have to do. It's something I get to do after I'm done with my job and everything else. So because of that, it's easier for me. And also, I have managed to create a system where the friction that it takes for me to sit down and hit stream or hit that button and hit play, it's minimal. So I can be ready in less than 5 minutes, which makes it easy for me to decide to actually stream. So I enjoy it. It's not something I have to do, it's something I get to do, and I enjoy to do it. And the friction to do it is minimal. And that's something I actually work towards too. Yeah, this is so this is my rubber ducky. I call it Chippy. So every time I'm thinking about something or I am trying to keep, so here's the thing. When I'm doing something or I need to figure out something or I'm thinking about something, right now I'm uh, thinking about my answers and stuff. I need to fiddle with something in my hand. So this helps me. And also when I'm trying to rubber duck a piece of code and explain to myself, I just explain it to my chippy. So that's my rubber duck. Yep, it works for me. I sometimes grab this too and just do this with my fingers, but it's kind of hard and it's sometimes it falls down and I breaks my concentration. So this is a lot easier to just fiddle with, and I do it even without thinking. No, that's all right. I know. I know. So I need to. Let's just put it in results. I'm going to just put it here. I am going to take it out because I'm going to need the result value when I show the results of the query. But for now, I'm just going to put it maybe in like a result. And then I filter this tags with where tag dot name equals search query. No, not equals. It's got to be like a regex or something. Let's see. Includes maybe. Let's try includes. I sometimes I do, but what I used to do that a lot, like die or exit. What I do now is when I'm trying to test something, I think this is limited to Laravel, but I do maybe not. I use DD, which is die and dump. And it looks like this. So in Laravel, you have a helper method that is called DD, and you pass in the variable that you want to die and dump, which is basically the equivalent of doing var dump and then die.
Husienot here subscribed to the channel. You're amazing.
Husien, thank you so much for the subscribing to the channel. You're awesome, dude. There is a local compare function if you want to go multilingual. I won't do that. But it's good to know. Spoon. What's your native language? Slovak. Yeah. I was gonna go with something close to that. Cool. Yeah, that's good to know. In this case, I'm just going to use contains for now and see if that works. I was wondering why don't I get the word auto suggested, because I misspelled results. There. Let's see how that works. Refresh, no errors, tags. What are some values? Let's try with Dolorum. Ugh. Not a function of name? Really? How come? All right, let's see. Oh, thank you. I was reading it like 5 seconds ago. Deal. Results is not defined. Okay. So what am I getting out of that? Am I really getting nothing out? DO? Why? Oh, okay. So used to just defining variables by just assigning them. See what I mean when I say I'm not great with JavaScript? Oh, ew. That worked. All right, so cool bananas. Good old JavaScript, am I right? All right, so I am able to filter down that into a result. Now I am going to need this variable out of here. So I'm going to make it reactive by saying const search results set search results. Oh my god, results. This is going to be an array. Empty at first. Then let's go down, 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 down here. Let's just call set results, set search results with that. Of course. So that should still work. And it does. Cool, cool, cool. All right, making progress. Making progress. All right, so I'm able to do that. Now I have a search method for a list of tags. Let's keep going and find the point in the tutorial where we are displaying those.
So yeah, so that's like a quick and dirty version of.
I don't. So what you're saying is I am dumb. No, I'm kidding. So what you're saying is I can just, well, can I just declare it here then? So I just declared it as a global variable. And then just assign the value here. All right, that works. Okay, yeah, that's, if you don't recommend it, I believe you. I still have a list of results and I will display those in a list.
Of how to of how to get this like working, and you could probably tell that it is very inefficient because we're essentially running a fetch request on every keystroke, and I don't think npm
Yeah,
would be
I'm
very
going
pleased
to
with that amount of traffic. It would
skip.
probably throttle us and do some kind of like rate limiting, and we don't want that. So
I'm going to skip the part where he does like a debounce hook. I'm repeating the same global variable in multiple functions. I guess I'm missing some context. Hmm. I don't know, man. I feel like I'm missing the context of what you're trying to do. But if it has to do with a global variable. Yeah, kind of hard. I'm trying to think if you really need that. I mean, I don't know what you mean by global variable. Is it just a like a are you defining the same variable over and over again in the functions, or are you referencing something that's outside the functions? The entire component re-renders, including any variables defined at the component scope. Search is ready. It's already reactive. Oh, I see. More than one function in one file has a global variable declared in it. Oh, I see. But I do need the search results to change based on the query. So if I make it constant, I can't change it. If I make it constant, can I assign a value to it? Can I assign a value back to it? I mean, that defeats the purpose of constant. Oh, I see. Okay. So about that global variable, trying to think how we do it. We do have something similar in our legacy code. I don't know if this is going to help, but the way that we do it is we created like a wrapper for the database connection. So yeah, it's PHP. I'm guessing it's vanilla PHP. What we did was create a class that acts as a wrapper for the database connection. I think that's way too involved in your case, but every time we need a connection to the database, we call a method like I think it's called open connection, and we pass the connection name so that it opens a connection to the right database in the right schema. And if that connection is open already, it just returns that connection instance. But if you need a connection in wherever you need it, whether it's on every function, I guess you do need to either recreate that connection and assign it to a variable, or have it abstracted in a class that will keep an instance of it, even if it's already, it would keep an instance of it. If you call it once, it will keep it live and just reference that every time you need to make another connection. I hope that makes sense. So basically, yeah, if you need to keep one connection active at all times, even if you use it on multiple functions, I would probably abstract that to a class that will instantiate it if not present, or return it if it's already been created. All right, so yeah, I'm going to skip the debounce part here because he's using a debounce hook to debounce the input of the search query because of the fetching to the npm registry. I don't need that, so I'm going to skip that.
Now let's make this thing a little bit more presentable. Instead of console logging the search results, I want to actually render them in the UI as buttons that we can click on.
You're not doing OOP? Then you will probably need a function that will either return the, you will probably need still a global variable that handles the connection instance, and then a function that will either return that variable or instantiate a new one if you're doing imperative code. So basically the same thing, but instead of abstracting that, it's still going to be a global variable. We'll maybe just create a helper method instead of redefining or redeclaring the connection or reusing that global variable every time. And if that doesn't feel right, I think that what you're doing is perfectly acceptable. Sometimes some duplication is necessary.
So that we can add them as tags in a second. So first thing we want to do is create a new state object called packages. So I'm actually just going to double click this. That'll clone this line down. Packages. There we go. And we'll initialize this as an empty array and copy it over. But it's essentially...
Okay, so that's the list of packages that he's getting from the fetch. Nothing that I need.
Package object shape. So
I'm not doing types, so I don't need this.
What we want to be using. So like all the optionals and stuff. That's yeah. And open up packages is defined using the new npm package type. So down here where we were previously console logging, we're just going to replace this. Bro, thank you. We're just going to replace this text. When you have code that works, why change it? Map function is, it's kind of like a for each where, because packages is initialized as an empty array, if there's nothing, open up, we're going to return a button. So we'll say button, and inside of that button, we'll open up a span tag, we'll open up a curly brace, and we'll say package.name.
Question for chat. Do I do a lot of lip smacking? Does it come through in my mic? I can't hear it, but I don't know why maybe it's just me, but every time I hear a video of someone on YouTube and they're doing this, oh my God. So I don't know. Not that I noticed. Oh, thank God. I don't know if you can hear the guy, but damn, he probably has the mic here and has no filters on it. So I constantly hear that. Please stop doing that. Okay, keep going.
Close the curly brace, and then let me just add some stuff. Oh, so this button needs to be imported. Whoops. So yeah, there it is. So .component/ui/button.
Probably,
and
yeah.
this we installed it earlier using the ShadCN CLI. So for this, let's just add a key so that React knows what this is.
Okay, now we're just iterating over the
Next
results.
thing, let's just give it a type of button.
And he's using a button.
And you don't need to do that, just have it. For these buttons, we'll give them a variant of Ghost, which is another thing from ShadCN, just predefined CSS.
I saw that.
We'll also add some class names to this, and I'll show you why. So if I actually come in here and React, well, this kind of looks terrible.
Okay, let's see if we can get that. Apparently, just below the input, we can iterate over the search results that we have right now. And just render some buttons with ghost variants and spans inside those buttons. I don't know the reason for that span, probably because of the, okay, I don't know. Let's try and get that done. And let's head down to the tags input here. This is not the one. This is the one. So yeah, let's iterate over search results. Dot map. Let's call it tag. Maybe? Yeah. And this, wait. Okay. This returns JSX. And inside this JSX, we are going to use the button from what? I have headless UI React, components UI. It's got to be this one, right? No. Maybe. Is that the one? Let me check ShadCN. No, don't open that. Yeah, ShadCN, please. Check. Yeah, that's the one. Components UI button. Components UI button. So it's going to be a button. We need a key for that. God, don't do that. Key. Like so, we're going to use the tag ID in this case. What else? Make it tag type, actually. Type button. Variant ghost. Variant ghost. And some class names. Self-close? No. And let's put a span here. And what we are going to display is the tag. My keyboard is not centered. That's the problem. Tag.name. Oh, but he's no, wait. Just putting it there. Okay. Let's see if we get the same results. Get down to tags and just do DOL. Not showing anything. Awesome. How come? Where's my... Where's this? Why am I not getting anything back here? Is it because it is not? I think I need to make this reactive. Am I wrong? I'm just gonna try it and see what happens. So I'm gonna go back to this being so we do need it as a reactive property because otherwise I cannot iterate over it on the template. Maybe I was half done, but this worked. And it's kind of what he's doing, so I'm gonna keep it that way. I'm gonna keep it that way. I do have all the buttons rendered with the suggestions, and it is filtered out as soon as I change values. If it works, it works. Next. Thank you. All right. We get that. Let's keep going.
Terrible. Actually, I don't hate it,
But you don't
but
like
I
it,
also
so
don't like it.
yeah, keep going.
So I'm gonna fix that up by styling it up a little bit. So we'll say that each button will have a flex with the full item center justify between, and this is just like
See? Mm. Flex item center justify between, and what was the other one? With full. So I guess we just use it the way it works, even though we don't kind of respect it much. It's all right. That should be good. Let me see. Boop. There you go. Yeah, sometimes we just have to do what we have to do. All right.
It's not going to be the case for us, but because like this just kind of like centers everything. Hell of a lot of buttons that show up as the search results.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
There is one other thing that I want to do real quick, which is I don't want to define the object as any.
I don't care about
Mouse over
that.
here and just copy this over. That result. Save. And there you go. So let's actually have a state object where we can store the things that we click on, and then we'll have to define a click handler to actually
Okay.
manage the storage of these or the storing action. I don't know what I'm saying. English is hard. So let's just go ahead
That's
and
what we were
create two
saying.
state objects. So we'll say
English is
const,
hard.
and I guess we can just call it tags. So we'll say tags and then set tags equal to use state. And these tags are going to be of type npm package as well because
No, it's just strings.
going to be adding these. We're just going to be adding them wholesale, so all the data comes in. You can just save like the name if you want, but for my use case, I find it beneficial to have all the data. That way, if I like need to link it or if I need to do more things with the data, like maybe add a hover over effect and do some more fancy stuff, then you can go wild with it. So now let's create a click handler for these buttons.
Okay, one sec. So I do need that. But in my case, I'm just going to keep an array of what's it going to be? I think search results already, right? Search results is no, that's not it. That's not it. That's what I get when I search. I want to keep those results. If I click on them, that'll be the tag. So let's do this. I'm going to call it that way. Tags, set tags, use state. This is just going to be an array. What I'm going to do is for each time we click on something, I'm going to add like an object that just has the ID and the name to this list, and then iterate on that when I'm showing the tags. I guess I'm going to show them above the input that he's doing. But yeah, it's just going to be an array of very simple objects that I'm going to be filling up. Okay, keep going.
So when we click on these buttons, let's just say const handle select package. I'm really bad at naming things. And inside the function block, what we're going to do is we're going to set to here. This isn't the state variable. You know what? I'll just do prev tags just so that it doesn't get confusing. Prev tags.
So just appending to the array.
So yeah, basically whatever
Okay.
tags are in the state, it's going to take them and then it's going to add a new tag to them.
Okay. What are you? Okay, so he's passing. Okay. I'm going to do this slightly different. I just need to pass in two things on the click. Let's see if we can come up with something. So on the buttons here, actually format this a bit better. I'm going to have an on click here. And this is going to call, well, actually, it's going to be this. E. So I have the tag here. Can I just pass the tag like so? I'll be passing the entire tag object, which is fine. I wonder if I have to do this E here. How is he going to do it?
So we're just going to say package.
Yeah. Did he do it already?
We make this usable. So in
okay.
our buttons,
here we go.
Click
I'll
handler,
click.
And we'll say on click, ANFN, and I really need to memorize the snippet for
yeah.
The anonymous function that doesn't have the brackets. I'll probably figure out in a second. So here we'll say handle.
So I do need the callback function. I don't need the event parameter here. So on click, select tag. That's what I'm going to use. And then let's define that here. Const select tag. And then tag. Wait, not that. Equals. That's going to take in a tag object. And then I'm going to say set tags. This is going to be a callback function as well. And it's going to take the previous tags and just say, what was it? Go back a bit. Right, so set tags, previous tags. I guess I can make this shorter, like so. Just expand and pass in the tag. No, expand the previous tags and add the current tag, like so. And just to make sure that works, I'm going to console log tags. Is that it? Okay, I have a problem though, because it's called the same. Those two are called the same. So let's change this to selected tags. Do I have to do something to the button? Do I? No. Select tag. All right. See if that works. No errors. That works. If I click on this, here you go. It's empty. Dang it. Almost worked. Why? Why is it empty? Why is it empty? Can't I do just this? Is that cool? Let's see. Whoop. Still giving me an empty array. That's okay. It's bugging me. What is search doing in the filter tags function? Not used anywhere in the function, but for the initial if condition, which at the moment doesn't make much sense to me. Like the entire block starting with use effect and ending with filter tags function. It's pointless. Hold on. Let me see if I see what you mean. What is search doing in the filter tags? Yeah, that thing is not being used anymore. Search. Okay, so the state is not synchronous, as in the selected tags variable will not be updated immediately after calling set selected. Okay. All right. Okay, that makes sense. So search. Search is basically just a string value. And all I'm doing with it is I'm setting it or I'm binding it to the text input called tags. So this text input is, yeah, I do need search. So I need it for this text input so that you can see what you're typing. And I have that, that's like the search, what did you call it? Search, I don't know, just a search string. And I just change that value and every time you type in it. Then I use that in the filter tags method just so that I don't filter the tags unless you type something in it. I don't know if it's that necessary or not. I can probably do away without it. Let's see if we can do away without it. Because you're right. That'll be, it makes more sense if you were using that in like a fetch call, because you don't want to make fetch calls unless you type something or you have a value in it. But yeah, the use effect and filter tags function you don't need. Use effect and filter tags. Well, maybe not. What I was trying to do there is, why don't I need the filter tags function? I kind of do. I want to call the filter tags function every time you type something in the search input. Therefore, the use effect. So every time the search input changes value, I call the filter tags, which narrows the array of tags to just the search results. All right. So if what you're saying is, so you're saying that the component gets re-rendered. So every time the component is re-rendered, is this going to be called filter tags? So if search changes value, is filter tags going to be invoked? Let me see the code snippet. Okay, so I guess what you're saying is all I need to do is let's go up here. Let's comment this out. Uncomment this. So let's search results. No, I am learning. I do need to learn. So let's search results. Let me see the code snippet again. And then just add an if here. Is this going to work even if this search value is is reactive? I do need that as reactive, right? It will? Okay. So that means that I can just take this tax filter. Yoink. Oh, shoot. Come on, dude. Did I fuck this up? All right. Go back a bit. There. Yoink. And then here. Not that. We'll see. We'll see. So the one thing that I noticed that was not working with search results not being not being used with used state is that it was not displaying the list. So let's see if it works. So search results is just a variable. Every time search changes, why are you like that? Every time search changes when the component re-renders, then it's going to make search results be only the result of that search. And then down, 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 down here. Where is it? Here. Then I iterate over search results and display those as buttons. No errors. Search query is not defined. Okay. Go up. Search query. So this should be search. Like so. Hey. All right. Thank you. I do want to do the things the right way. Now I just have to figure out why when I click on it, it's not going into my array. You said because it's not, okay. All right. So it makes sense. Makes sense because if I do a console log after this hasn't take effect, has not taken effect after I call this. So it should be, no, don't worry about it. I am open to learn And if I'm doing the things, even though if they work, they're not the right way to do them, I do want to learn how to do them the right way. And that actually makes a lot of sense. The state setting function has a second parameter that is called after the state updates. So it's a callback function. What is it? Oh, don't do that. If you pass a function as next state, it will be treated as an updated function. It must be pure, should take the return set caveats. There is not a second parameter, but I can use as a callback function. Okay, so React batches state updates. It updates the screen after all the event handlers have run and have called their set functions. This prevents multiple re-renders during a single event. In the rare cases that you need to force React to update the screen earlier, for example, to access the DOM, you can use flush sync. Yeah, apparently they did. I probably need to use flush sync if I want to see that value, which I'm not really into. It's not really that important. I guess if I had multiple values, let me see. If I do have multiple tags, if I click it the second time, I would be able to see the changes. Yeah, there we go. So this is the first one. Yeah, it works. It works. Awesome. All right, cool. We are making progress.
Is, dude, I cannot type. Is just an empty quote thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
and I do have to reset the value of the search query. So that's a good point. So whenever I select a tag, I set it, and let's stop debugging and just I set search back to empty string. All right, that works, I think. Yeah. No errors. It's working. All right. Keep going.
So now let's actually do the thing where we make this usable. So NFN.
Yeah.
Here,
Yeah. Already did that. Thank you.
But didn't really do anything else.
Mm-hmm.
That's because we don't have anything displaying the
Mm-hmm.
tags.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
up here
Mm-hmm.
at the top, over this input, we will let's say tags dot length is greater than 0. So 0, then
That's ugly.
we'll pass in a div.
Use spaces, my dude.
I'll do div dot, that way we open up the class name thing. And then in here, we'll give it a margin bottom of 3,
Mm-hmm.
make it a flex box,
Mm-hmm.
wrap, rounded large, and then background. Because we're using ShadCN, we have things like muted. These are custom variables.
Okay.
So this won't work if you're just doing Tailwind, unless you have like defined muted and muted foreground and so forth and so.
You know what I could do in that case? Hold on, let me check something. Nah, maybe not. Let's do it like that. So that'll be like the container for the tags. All right, keep going.
So give it a padding x of 2, padding bottom of 11. I know it's crazy. It's almost like I've done this before. And then we inside.
Yeah, that's right. I can just log selected tags anywhere in the component.
Out of this div, we'll pass in the actual dependency. So this is just like the outer like container. So if I save that, there you go. That's like the container that's going to hold in.
Let me check if I can have that. All right, so that's going to be in the input. So let's go and look for tags. That'll be the label. So I guess I want to put it here above the label. All right, let's just add a div here. Right? Yes. No. I'm looking for selected tags. Selected tags dot length. Greater than 0, is it? And need another div. And class name. Follow the same classes. Margin bottom 3. Probably gonna change some of those. Flex wrap. Rounded LG. BG muted. So, padding X2. Bottom 11, top 2. Sure. Padding bottom 11, padding top 2. All right. I can't see it. It's there, but I can't see it. Do this. How about we give it not muted, but background, maybe some gray? Be a shade of gray. 400 maybe? Or 600? Hmm. Try with 600. Actually, yeah, let's try that. Okay, there it is. How does that look on light mode? Terrible. So maybe this is for dark mode. And then BG gray. Let's try 400. GB? What the hell? Hmm. You know what I would probably, nah. I'll just keep it like that for now. This has to be lighter. Not so much. All right, let's keep it like that. And then on dark mode, yeah. I don't like the position of it above the input, kind of confusing. At some point, I probably will move it down below the input, but that's going to interfere with the drop down of it. The drop down that shows the search results. For now, I'm going to keep it there. So I guess we just iterate over them.
For each.
Yep, tags map.
So, so in here.
Yeah.
Package.name.
Just a span.
There we go. Yep. Tag probably prop types. But that looks like trash.
Yes, it does. Give me the class names. Is that it?
So we save that.
Okay, yeah. So just the green. Margin 1, flex, cursor pointer, flex wrap, item center, justify between, rounded, BG ring, padding 2, BG ring. Huh, interesting. Masochistic suggestion. Oh no. Display selected tags in the input itself. Yeah. Easier said than done indeed, because then I have to, for every tag, I have to be aware of the, well, I'll have to create a pseudo input that wraps both the tag list and the input, because if I want to type a new tag, I have to do it at the end of the current tag list. So that div becomes the input, and the input itself, I'll have to remove all of the styles and put it as another element inside that. Not going to do that. But it's a good idea. Ten out of 10 would not recommend. So yeah, I do get what you mean. There are better ways, and if I really needed to make this like a really performant and UI compliant input, I would probably start working on that. But since all I need is just to display the list of tags, I'm just going to keep it above the input. Yeah, start easy, don't overcomplicate it. All right, let's do this. So that'll be search results, right? Search, no, selected tags. Map. Tag. Then this is JSX. This is going to be a span that displays the tag name. And I haven't even got to the part where I actually have to save this list of tags back to the database. So I don't think we're going to start the new project on Wednesday. I'm just going to get through the showing of the tags in the form, but updating those in database, I'll probably do that on Wednesday. Hey, don't worry. And look, Eduardo, every input is a good input, and I appreciate you participating and helping me learn stuff. So don't worry about it. If you have something on your mind, just blur it out in the chat, and I will pay attention because I appreciate your input and your feedback. Okay, so don't worry about it. All right, so we have the tag name here. Duly noted. I appreciate you, man. Margin one. So let's do the class names real quick. Margin one. I can probably get away with not doing margin. What I rather do is a gap. Since this is a flex wrapper, let's do a gap of 2. Cursor pointer, that's useful. Another flex wrap, really? I'm not going to do flex wrap. I will do flex item center only because I know I'll have an icon next to it to remove the tag. Justify between, sure, why not? Under MD. PG ring, call it. Okay. I think he's eating, setting himself up for an eventual remove, hence the yeah, definitely. In fact, yeah, I'm going to need an icon shortly to put next to the tag name so that when you click on that button, it will remove the tag. Rounded MD, padding 2. Text SM. Font medium. And text destructive. That's a new one. Text destructive foreground. So apparently this is so that text is always looks good on both light and dark mode.
And there we go. So let's look at what it looks like. Wonderful. Let's add some more things.
All right. See if we can get that. All right. So, boom. Well, that doesn't look good. Not what I wanted. I probably want them a lot smaller. And the background is going to be green. Nope. All right, maybe 800 on dark. Maybe a 400. No, 600, like so. Why is the text SM not really doing anything? That's too dark. You know what I kind of want? This white. So gray 900 on dark and where's the PG? Rounded, border, shadow, focus, focus, border, dark. Am I crazy here? Rounded, border, shadow, focus, focus, dark, dark. Really? I think it's from Shatsien. I think I saw it. Hold on. Yeah, it's a Shatsien custom class. And I believe what it does is makes the text, if we are on light mode, the text should always match or be visible in the container. I think that's what it does. So for example, if I go, let me make this white, by the way. So I think it's white by default. $800. Okay. Let me do that. And change the color of that span. 800? Really? Right? And then dark BG gray 200. Dark BG, move it, move it. Yeah, that destructive thing is not doing anything for me. I like that better. How about light mode? Yep, I like it better. Better contrast. Too much padding though. Hmm. Let me check something out. I think I have seen a right set of classes that I like for tags or for badges actually in preline. Kind of like it like this. Or maybe rounded? Yeah, maybe rounded. Oh my god. Why? Why? Okay. I think I went too far. Yeah. Kind of like that. I like this. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. All right, we're over 3 hours. Wow. Time goes by. Just keep going. Just a bit more. I want to get this done. Hmm. See. I guess what we can do is add the let's add the icon right away. We could just go to hero icons. It's supposed to be used with the destructive background color or on a button. On its own, doesn't do much. I see. Okay. Yeah, makes sense. Ah, here it is. This one has a button. Let's actually grab that. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Oh, it has a button. So let's grab the whole button. Copy and paste. I'm going to have to change a few things because JSX. Try that again. What is it, dude? What is it? Oh, dang it. Okay. Okay. I see what you mean. Well, maybe not. Okay, so what is going on here? So there is a span, there is a badge, and then it has a button. So there is a span, there is a badge, and there is the button. Eh? Keep you company again on Wednesday if I remember. Good luck. Good luck, and have a good 5:30 a.m. Jesus Christ. Okay, bye. Thank you so much for being here, and yeah, you can come back on Monday. Keep me company again. Appreciate that. Command M. What is going on? Select the corresponding GSA closing tag for button. I have a closing tag for button. It's right here. Oh, made a mistake. There. There you go. Does it look good though? Yes, it does. Kinda. That color. Uh, not blue. Great. Hmm. All right, that looks good. Okay, let's do this. So I'm gonna stop here. I I like how it's looking right now, and then on Wednesday we are going to handle the removal of the tags, handle the selection of repeated tags so that I cannot select the same tag twice, and yeah, pretty much everything else that it has to do with the tags. So what's that?
Edvardo just followed. You're amazing.
You're amazing, dude. I'm actually cutting off right now, so you're not gonna miss a thing. And we'll come back to Wednesday and just finish up on this tax input, which is finally looking good. Finally. So yeah, we'll finish that, and then the new project will begin on Friday. All right. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining me today. I hope you had a great time. And as always, if you found any of this helpful, don't forget to click the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, join me on Twitch if you're not doing so already. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. And I'm going to rate someone on Twitch. So if you're there, stand by. See who is on today. Let me see. Probably know already, but let's check. Yep. Hoodles is on, so we're probably gonna rate her, as it is tradition already. All right. So happy Monday, everyone. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you back on Wednesday. Bye.